You are listening to High Heels and High Chairs, voted the best online resource for busy moms who wish to stay strong, sexy, and centered in a world of spit up and sippy cups. Whether you're a new mom, a grandmom, a future mom, or somewhere in between, you'll love these priceless tips, tricks, and tools you will learn today. Here is your host, top female fat loss and hormone specialist, Dr. Michelle Sands.
Hi, and welcome back to High Heels and High Chairs, where we are talking about how to stay strong, sexy, and centered in a world of spit-up and sippy cups. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Sands, and today I'm really excited to have with us a very special guest. She is a nutritionist, a fitness trainer, a wellness coach, a wonderful speaker, and she's also the president of Meals That Transform. Angela Martindale is just an awesomely inspiring woman, and she really helps women transform through small daily habits that are really simple to incorporate into their lives, and for moms to incorporate into their families, which is super important because these little steps really help you to grow and really figure out who you are as a person and really get in touch with your authentic self and be great role models for your children. So, Angela, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited to speak with you.
Michelle, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to talk to your audience and be a part of this. Thank you.
So, Angela, I actually found you through a mutual friend, and he was just raving about you. I listened to an interview that he did with you, and I just fell in love. And so that's why I just think that you are going to be such a great resource for everybody listening. But before we get into the topic today, we're going to be talking about, well, you have 5 great tips for moms to create a genuinely less stressful transformation in life. So let's get into that. Before we do, though, I want to just let everyone get a little background on you, figure out who you are, and how you came to become all those wonderful things, the nutritionist, the fitness trainer, the speaker, the author. Now you're writing a book, and the president of the Meals That Transform, which is a hugely impactful company that you do so many great things for so many people. So let's go back. I don't know if you've always been this amazingly, extraordinarily productive person, but I'd love to just know what sparked your interest in health and nutrition and why you're so passionate about it.
Yes, thank you for asking. I definitely have always been an A-type personality, and I'm a Virgo, so yes, I've always kind of had that, but really my journey started when I was born. I was born with a birthmark all over my face, and it's down my throat and inside my ears, and so it's very red and purple, and so my parents were so amazing. They were told that I would die, literally. The doctor said, your baby's going to die, and she's going to die of this. So, treat her as accordingly. And my mom and dad looked down at me and said, she's going to be just fine. Like, she's strong and she's able. And so from that point on, that was my life. I was taught to be strong and able, and I had 2 other gorgeous sisters. I'm the middle child, but I was very different. I'm very different. And so my life really took on its own, it just kind of took on its own identity. I was fed antibiotics really throughout my adolescence because, my parents would take me to the doctor if I was sick or if I had allergies, and immediately they would look down my throat and say, oh, she's got strep throat, so feed me full of antibiotics. And by the time I was 17, I was a competitor in gymnastics and diving, and I was a very able, child. I had good grades. I was doing well in school, and I started losing my hair. My immune system crashed, and I wasn't even able to walk up a flight of stairs. Wow. And so I just had like literally an aha moment and an epiphany when I was 17 that what you're putting into your body is not working. And so I stopped. Like, I literally stopped what my parents were feeding me. They did what they could, and they had the skills that they had at that time, and I was being fed the SAD diet, the standard American diet, and it was full of sugar, fat, and salt, and my body didn't like it. And so I started eliminating things from my diet. And so that really helped me pinpoint what was happening. And as I became really aware of my body, and I became the student, and then I became the teacher. I was just like, this is what I have to do. I have to teach people about their bodies. And really for me, it was more about kids. I didn't want kids to go through what I went through. I didn't want them to be fed full of antibiotics or misdiagnosed, and I didn't want parents to feel completely just, like they had no place to turn, or they, completely helpless with their kids' nutrition or with the way that they fed their kids. That was really important to me. And so that's really where Meals That Transform came about, and being a personal trainer and a wellness coach and a nutritionist, I get to consult and teach people what the 60 trillion cells in their body needs. And so that's really important to me. And I love talking to moms. I love talking to parents. I love really helping, a 5-year-old who will only eat macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets and really finding, an exciting food for them to enjoy and really understanding it. And so that's really how I came to be where I'm at.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And I love the power of intention that your parents just knew and it instilled in you, that you were capable and beautiful and
totally
able. And that's huge. I was just speaking with someone yesterday about that power of intention and how powerful it is, and realizing in my own life, when I think that I'll try, things don't turn out as well as what I think I will. So it's really quite interesting in how phenomenally your life has turned out and how beautiful you are. So it's really
Thank
quite
you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. It's very true. What you said that really struck me was that you really started looking for answers and you started educating yourself. And I know a lot of moms out there, the reason why they're listening to this right now is they're trying to educate themselves, and they're trying to do what's right for their children and right for themselves and their families. But like your parents, we can only do what we know, or what we know is the best thing. So what do you recommend for moms who are really trying to sift through all the different information that's out there? Like, how can they find the information that's right and that they can trust?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question, right? Because we are in the age of Google, right? We're in the age of the Internet, and we think that anything that we pull up on the Internet is true, and it's just not, right? You're being marketed to all the time, okay?
And it can drive you crazy. It can drive you crazy.
It will drive, yes, it will drive you crazy. You become helpless, right? You become actually very stuck, right? You can be just stuck, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do for my child or for myself, right? Because it can just, you feel really stuck when there's so much coming at you. And I always tell my moms, like, you are being marketed to, right? And so I always want you first and foremost to remember you're being marketed to. Somebody wants to sell you something. And so it might not be the best thing for your child or for yourself. And so I would say just seek out an expert. Seek out an expert that really understands and really knows, right? And everybody is different, right? My parents took me to a doctor who said she has strep throat. They didn't even correlate that my birthmark was causing the redness in my throat and in my ears. I didn't have strep throat probably half the time, right? But that's what I was told and what my parents was told. And so then throughout my life, I was sickly, right? I was told that I was sick all the time. My parents was always like, she's sick, don't get next to her. She's in her bedroom. I became isolated. And that's just one example, right? But I think that it's really important to seek an expert. And when you're seeking an expert, right, it's someone who really is going to listen to you. They're not going to just take down your symptoms and go, oh, it's this, or your child is doing this, right? It's someone who's really going to listen and look at all aspects. And I really think that it's so important to feel an energy, wellness and safety around that expert, and then really, work with that person. It's not going to happen overnight. It may take 2 or 3 sessions with someone to really help them understand what you or your child is going through. But I think it's really so important to seek knowledge and to seek out an expert, not just look on the Internet and self-diagnose. That's a good place to start. It's a good place to go. But if there's really something wrong or really something that you feel is an issue, seek out an expert, and really. And it might take 2 or 3, right? It might take 2 or 3 appointments, but don't give up, and don't. I
totally agree. Yeah, I think it's also finding that person who you connect with. It's almost like finding a partner in life. You have to find someone who really understands you and that you understand as well. If you can be going to the most educated doctor, but if they're using jargon that you don't understand, then you're not going to be able to implement it into your life. So you really have to find that connection. I think that's so important. And I think that alone is the cause of a lot of stress as a mother, wanting to do the right thing.
Yes.
So today our topic actually is tips for moms to really stress a little bit less and really find their authentic self and really transform their lives from themselves to their families. So let's get into, you have 5 tips, so let's get into those tips.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the very first thing that you always need to change, individually or even in your home life is positive affirmations and positive self-talk, right? So, you might have a child that is really negative about him or herself, or you might be negative about yourself or your spouse, right? And I think it's really important to find positive affirmations in your world, in your life, in your home, right? And I do that by saying I ams, right? So teaching your kids to find some power words and yourself and implementing those somehow, right? Like when they come home from school or putting them in their lunchbox or saying them together, I am smart, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am strong, or I am, a good soccer player, or whatever they're doing, right? I want those affirmations to be out there and putting really good self-talk. And as a mom, I think it's really important to say, I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. I'm a good provider. I'm a good, nurturer, right? I think forget about ourselves as moms because we're spending so much energy on this little person, and it's really important for us to look in the mirror and go, hey, I'm a cool mom, or I'm a really good nurturer, or I'm a really good motivator for my kids. Finding some space in there, and then finding things that are just you individually.
Oh, that is awesome. What's really funny is I was just reading a study about how 80% of our thoughts throughout the day are negative, and it's actually higher for women than men. So when we're having all those negative thoughts going through our head, actually having this practice that you're speaking of, those positive affirmations, having that in your daily practice, that forces you to focus on the positive. So many moms, we're so hard on ourselves with our bodies and not being able to do everything for everyone. It's easy to sometimes slip out, a negative comment about how we look or a negative comment about our abilities. And when our children are watching, it's all that much more important to not really vocalize those negative things because they hear that, and whether you think it's true or not, they will really start to take that into themselves as well and start to really feel negative about their bodies and their ability to do things. So I think this practice for moms and also, to do it as a family is just so impactful.
Yes, it is. It will change. I mean, you will see your behavior, your partner's behavior, your kids' behavior change. You will literally see it. You'll see their schoolwork change. You'll see the way that they interact with kids or the way that they interact with, their teachers or their coaches. You will see that. And it is. It's one of the most important things that you can do for your kids and for yourself, right, is to find
it's completely
that
free. It
space.
doesn't cost anything. It doesn't
No.
cost anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere. And there's great resources online if you have a block and you can't think of affirmations, but they're really just positive things, like pick 10 things that you're proud of about yourself and that you like about yourself, and just say those out loud. And I just think that is so beautiful. And, it's easier for moms to do it for their kids. Like, to say, my child is smart, my child is, but, you have to do it for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
think about what your mom would have said about you. And
yes.
I think
yes. So true.
That is a wonderful first tip. So if you don't even take anything else away from this conversation, this one tip can really be life-changing for you. But we actually have 5, so let's get into number 2.
Yes. So I love to tell my moms, be realistic, not pessimistic. And this goes along with that first one, right? When it's like so hectic and you've got 30, items on your list that you need to get done, I want you to be realistic and stop putting so much pressure on yourself, right? I think that this is a really important one for goals as well. It's like, if you haven't even walked a mile, why are you going to sign up for a marathon? Now, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. That's not something that you should work towards, right? But I think as moms, we're like, we think we can do everything, and we can. But how much stress do you want to put on yourself and your partner or your family life, right? You don't have to look perfect all the time. Your child doesn't have to be perfect all the time. And I think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves with these unrealistic goals of what we should look like, what we should be, where my kids should be in school, or where they should be in singing lessons, or whatever it might be. I think that we put so much pressure on unrealistic goals when we really should just be really realistic and not pessimistic about the things that we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, that's huge. I know, especially for moms, it's almost like we just think that like all of a sudden we need to do like 10 times more than we've done ever in our life before because we're a mom. Like we want to be, it's in our DNA. I understand, like we're just nurturing, and so we want to be there for everyone and do everything. But it really, you really have to think about like how are you going to. Once you break down, you're not going to be able to do anything. Eventually your body can't handle all of that, and it's going to backfire. So I think that, starting out before you get to that point of burnout, is really, you're right, making realistic goals. Like, it's okay to say no. It's okay not to do things. It's okay to, I think we were speaking with another expert about how it's okay to leave the dishes in the sink. Like, that's all right.
That's right.
That's
right.
Let it go.
Be realistic about what you can handle, right? It's like, okay, if I've got to pick up the kids in 10 minutes, well, maybe I need to take 5 deep breaths, and maybe I need to go to the bathroom and eat something, and that's more important than doing the dishes right now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, be realistic about your goals and your line items, your big task list. Be really realistic about it.
I'm really glad that you're talking about this, because like in the beginning I started out by saying how many things that you do and how accomplished and how successful you've been. But coming from you, hearing you say it's okay not to get it all done, it kind of makes it okay for other people to do the same.
Oh my gosh, please. We are super women. We are. You created a body in your body.
Right.
Like, you created a person, you are an absolute miracle. And so is this little person running around, big or small at this point, whoever they are. But it is so important to make sure that you're being realistic about that task list, and that eventually you'll get it done. Eventually you'll get there,
Right. Just start with the things that are most important, is what I always say. Prioritize things that are most important. Do those first, and then the other things, well, they weren't that important anyways.
Absolutely.
Great tip. So we have the first tip is the affirmations, and then the second tip is being realistic with your goals. So what's number 3?
I think that the best thing that you can do as a mom is take a break during the day. Right? And whether that be that when you are then driving to go pick up the kids from school, you're taking 5 deep breaths. Or when you're, running around at 4:30 and everybody's got to be to a different place, you're taking just a moment to calm yourself, get grounded, take 5 to 10 deep breaths, and you're manifesting, right? Like, what do I really want my relationship to be with my kids? Or what do I want this day to end as, right? What do I really want out of this, day today? Because as a mother, you set that tone. And if you're stressed out and you're overwhelmed and you can't get everything done, it shows, and it feels overwhelming at times, right? And so I think that it's so important to just, like, if they're at school or if they're at practice, take a moment for yourself. Take a moment. And I just say 5 to 10 minutes, and maybe you don't have 5 to 10 minutes during the day, and I understand that. Sometimes I'm like, okay, do you want me to go to the bathroom, or do you want me to answer the phone? Like, I get it, Mom. Like, do you want me to pick up my kids, or do you want me to eat something? Like, I get it. But on your way, I want you to, like,
came and said to take a break, I know everybody was like, oh, right. Like, how am I supposed to
do right, and
right. Like,
yeah.
Thanks, Angela, but no thanks. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, I get it. But if you can just take 5 deep breaths, it will change the way that you feel.
So my next question is, so we first thought that we couldn't take a break, and then we made it only 5 minutes or 5 breaths. That was doable. But then I know there's some moms who may be thinking, well, is that really going to do anything? Like taking 5 breaths, is that really going to make a difference? So how does that really, what are the benefits of doing that, of stopping and taking those deep breaths?
It's calming your chi, right? It's calming your nervous system. It's actually giving breath to your cells, right? I think that sometimes when we're stressed, we don't breathe deep enough, and we're not feeding our body oxygen, right? We're just getting through the day. And so when you take 5 deep, inhalations into the body, you're telling your body, I care for you, I'm thinking about you, and I'm going to pay attention to you for this 5 deep breaths. And just as we're talking about this, right, and as our mothers are listening right now, like just take 5 deep breaths and you'll see how it makes you feel, right? If you've got time to listen to me tell you to do it, like right now take those 5 deep breaths and see how that feels. And I want big deep breaths, big, and do it 5 times. Sometimes we go, oh my gosh, like I'd never even breathed into my body that much. I think sometimes that even at night when you're laying down, take 5 deep breaths before you try to go to sleep, right? Rather than turning on the TV or rather than doing that one last task. I want you just to sit down and just take a moment for yourself, because you will be a much better person and a much better mother, and you're going to make better decisions when you're able to do that.
That makes a ton of sense, because actually you change the physiological makeup of your body when you take those breaths, and it could actually lower blood pressure. It could make a lot of changes in the alkalinity of your body. Yeah. So there's actually real biological changes going on when you do that, so it's not just in your head. And I love, how you break that down. So that makes a lot. And then you also have, I just want to bring up, you have a chi yoga program that would be a great resource for women who want to learn how to really do this deeper breathing and mind-body stuff. Can you just tell us a quick about that real quick, and then we'll get into it more?
Yes, absolutely. I have a 7-minute video, literally 7 minutes. You can wake up before the kids get up, before you make breakfast, 7 minutes in the morning, and then 18 minutes another video. It just goes a little bit longer. So if you've got a little bit more time, there's an 18-minute video as well. And you can do that one in the morning or at night. Both of them are interchangeable, but it's really moving your chi, right? And chi is energy. And when our chi is blocked, we're blocked, and our focus is blocked. We get fatigued. We get overwhelmed, high blood pressure, right? Sugar levels, our blood sugar levels are not in line. Our hormones go out of whack when we are not centered and we have flow of chi. And so I created this program really for trauma. I was hit by a car on my bike 7 years ago, and I couldn't move. And taking my arms up and breathing was the only move that I could do. And I loved Tai Chi. And so Chi Yoga Flow is just a mixture of yoga and Tai Chi. And it's really seeing that breath and harnessing those thoughts and focusing that energy as you bring it towards your heart center. And there's a 7-minute video and an 18-minute video, and it's free to your listeners today.
Oh, wow. I'm going to put a link to that right next to where you're listening to, so that'll be awesome. I'm so glad. Oh my God, I was kind of willing to pay for that. It's free. Yeah. Because sometimes you need like something to follow. We're so busy and we're doing so many things. Like we don't want to think about, okay, what am I going to do for my exercise or my yoga? So it's nice to be able to follow it. And so that is a great. And it's 7 minutes. Anyone can do that. We can even let our kids do it too. That's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, totally. It would be such a great, they're easy movements. Your kids will love them, and it's something that they're seeing mommy do and feeling good. And I think it's such a great thing to do with your kids.
Love it. Yeah, and teach them the breathing trick too. When kids get stressed out too. Stressed out before their soccer game, or they get stressed out before their test. Teaching them that 5 deep breaths can really be a great resource for them as well. I mean, they're really little humans. That's what I always tell everybody. Well, kids are just little versions of us. So a lot of the things that are going to help us are going to help them too. And then as they grow up learning these practices, like how awesome is that going to be as they enter adulthood, that they already have all these tools in their tool belt. So I think that that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, Michelle, I love that you say that because I say that to my clients all the time too. I'm like, your kids are being fat. They should be eating what you're eating. They should be breathing the way that you're breathing. They should be working out. They should be, they're little humans, and we need to teach them. And that's our job. That's our job as moms is to teach them those things so they don't have to go through maybe what we went through.
Yes, and that kind of leads us into your next tip, because a lot of times when, as women, especially after we have babies, we want to get our bodies back, so we go on these healthy diets, and we just do it for ourselves, and then we're feeding the rest of our family their meal, and then we're making a separate meal for ourselves, and it's oftentimes difficult to do it that way. But we do that because we're eating the diet food to help us be healthier and lose weight, and then we're feeding our family the regular foods. But just like we're talking about teaching your kids how to breathe and how to do affirmations, like we can teach our kids and our families and our husbands how to eat well too, and how to make those little swaps that we can do to really healthy up our meals. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I just say don't get fancy, right? I think just like you said, we are not line cooks, and we shouldn't be making, 3 separate meals for our families. I think that it's really important to be the example, right? So mommy and daddy have chosen to be healthy, and this is the way that we be healthy. If you don't start your kids out now, they're going to have issues later, right? You're going to see behavior problems. You're going to see, type 2 diabetes. You're going to see, focusing. They can't focus on their homework. I mean, if we are not the example for them, you're going to see those, the detriment of that, right?
Yeah,
and
oh my God,
you're seeing it too. Yeah, you're seeing it too, right?
We see it all the time in children. They're eating, foods that are marketed to kids. Not anything crazy, not fast food every day, but just regular foods that are not necessarily the cleanest, most real foods that they could be eating, and it really does cause all kinds of behavioral issues, trouble focusing, digestive issues, and bad performance in school, and it's not their fault. It's not that the kids are bad kids. It's that they're not getting the nutrients that they need. And then for adults too, we get brain fog, we have trouble concentrating. Like we can't focus. So it's not labeled as a behavioral disorder. We just think that we're losing it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. And so, I just say don't get fancy. Like all you have to do is replace one thing with another. Stop buying the chips or the cookies that you always buy for them and replace them with, fruits and veggies. And I know sometimes, and I know my moms out there are going to go, but they cry. They freak out. They won't do it. They won't eat. But if you are the example and you stay consistent and stay steadfast, of course, you are their teacher. And if you give in, and they're seeing you eat separately or eat something different, then they're going to start to think like, oh, what I'm doing isn't healthy, or what I'm mommy's doing it this way, and just because mommy's doing it, it's the adult way. That it's not true. We have to teach our kids where, that live food in the body feeds the body. It's going to make them stronger, better, and happier. Just like it's making you stronger, better, and happier, right? And
right.
I think it's so important.
As this is new, if you guys, if someone listening, if you've been eating, the chips and the cookies and that's been around the house, of course, don't take it all away at once, because that will cause an uproar in the household, I'm sure. But start swapping, do little swaps. Angela has some great ones, like, apple slices instead of chips. I make kale chips, which is kale, but you put all kinds of goodness on it and spices and salt, and it tastes like chips. Kids love them. Yeah. And there's a lot of great little tricks and tips you can use, that the kids will actually like. And when you get the kids involved and they're helping make it, and they're picking out the vegetable, and they're helping you prepare it, they really do like to eat healthy things once they're exposed to it and they're involved in it. So I think it's just exposing them. And some moms are listening thinking, well, I don't like eating vegetables, right? So you got to expose yourself to different ways of preparing vegetables. You can stir fry, you can bake them, there's so many different ways that maybe you only have looked at a vegetable in one way before and you don't like it because you're thinking of spinach the way your high school lunch served it.
That's right. That's right. Yes, absolutely. Start developing your palate. And when you say that you don't like something, immediately your kids are not going to like it. So, again, using different verbiage, or I'm going to have this today rather than I don't want this. I'm going to have this today, so then they create that verbiage as well.
Yes, love it. That's so many great tips. And then you have, your Meals that Transform, which really it's a great way for people to really understand food and what's involved in being healthy. So in that program, you actually create and deliver the meals to people, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. They're fresh organic meals delivered right to your door, and then we have a whole Ohm Power protein line also at mealsthattransform.com, which can be mailed, all over the U.S. and internationally.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So there's another option if you just don't know and you don't have time to learn right now. Like as you're learning, you can just have them created and delivered for you by wonderful chefs. So there's so many options. What's the final tip? We have one more tip, and I know we're running short on time, but I want to get this last tip in. So if we go a few minutes over, bear with us, Mom. Yes. Good information.
Yes. Again, I think it's so important for moms to step away and take time for themselves, right? Whether that be a yoga class, a massage, a pedicure, unplug, let go, get a babysitter, have dad take over, have your partner take over, whatever it takes. It is so important to decompress. Our body needs to rest. And sleep just always doesn't do it, right? And if we have, new moms that are dealing with new babies, you're up a couple times a night.
Sleep doesn't always happen.
Yeah, and so I think that de-stressing will so help you with managing your stress. And how you do that is, I love to say celebrate yourself and really choose something, but it's really more about relaxing, right? The body has to rest. We are made to relax and release and rejuvenate. And if we're not doing that for ourselves, again, fatigue, high blood pressure, brain fog, all those things start to happen. And then we can't deal with the stress if something little comes up for us. Yeah. It is so important just to take time for ourselves.
I totally agree. You're not only just relaxing, also doing something that you enjoy. Because I find that as we become adults and we get involved in all our day-to-day responsibilities and taking care of everyone, especially as moms, we almost lose track of what we actually enjoy doing because we don't take any time out to do those things. Instead, we're just running from one task to the next and never really taking time out to really follow our passions, explore our creativity, do these things that actually make us feel good and feel alive inside. And I think it's so important to foster those so that we really do keep track of who we are and really enjoy life and be that role model for our children because we ultimately want them to be happy and enjoy life as well.
Absolutely. It's just so you'll be such a better person, a better mom, a better person, a better partner when you really get connected, just get connected with yourself. And the only way to do that is when you're quiet and you're alone, right? You're unplugged and you're alone. It's really the only way to do that. And I know that there's moms out there going, Ange, there are days when I can't even literally go to the bathroom and eat. I got to choose one. I get it. But I want you to make an appointment. I want you to, listen to this amazing podcast, and then you get off and get on the phone and make an appointment, right? You have to put yourself back on your schedule.
Talk to your spouse. You let him know it's going to make you feel better about yourself. It's going to make you more productive, more present with him. It's going to improve your relationship. It's going to do so many things. And most husbands will be on board to take a half hour or however long and just let you have that time for yourself. And if that's not the case, hire a babysitter. It's totally worth it. I don't know what babysitters go for these days, like $15 an hour or less. You can really get that time for yourself, and you're so worth it. I don't know if there's anything more important than taking care of yourself as a mom so that you can better take care of everybody else, So it's just super important. Angela, those are great tips. This is just really amazing, like, basic and simple, easy to implement, but yet so important. So thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then, Angela, you have actually an amazing free gift that you're sharing with everyone today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I have a 16-week Ultimate Transformation Lifestyle Series, which I created, just for that. It is little tidbits, 2 to 5 minute videos that will give you tips and hints of what you can change, just one little thing in your week. So you start at the beginning of the week, whether that's Sunday or Monday for you, and you just implement this one tip. Do it throughout the week and just watch your lifestyle change. And they're just small tips and hints that will reap amazing results in your life. And I encourage everyone to go to my website, and I'm sure that you'll have a link that you'll be linking to the 16-week Ultimate Transformation, but it's there for you. I love, that your listeners want support, and please use it. I really created this so it would just help and support, everyone out there.
That sounds amazing. I love that it's one simple tip for the week, because as moms, we don't know that we can really take on much more like at first when I heard it was a 16-week course, I was like, oh my God, 16 weeks. I don't know if we can handle it, but it's one tip a week, so that's totally doable. And it's nice to get reinforced throughout the week before you have to learn the next thing. So that's actually beautiful. It's wonderfully set up for moms. And then I'll also put the link to the Chi Yoga Flow, because I really think that is a phenomenal resource.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then Angela, you can find Angela on her website. She has so many great things. Meals That Transform is a wonderful resource. If you guys don't want to take the time to prep and prepare your own meals, you can get them delivered. They're phenomenal. And then, Angela, you're also writing a book coming up as well?
I am. I'm writing a book just about all my tips and hints and my crazy life as a personal trainer and lifestyle coach, as I've been a celebrity trainer and lifestyle coach, and it's going to be a comprehensive, amazing book. Yes.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that. And when you sign up for the Chi Yoga Flow and the 16-week program, you'll be able to get updates from Angela, so you'll hear all the wonderful things that she's doing as well. Amazing. Oh, one more thing, in case anyone's listening really wants to get away and really pamper themselves and really get in touch with their beauty that is life. You do have an amazing retreat that you run, which can you tell us just a quick little bit about that before we go?
Yes, it's spending 3 to 5 days with me. The next one that I'm doing will be a 5-day retreat, and dates will be announced very soon, but it is literally coming and spending 5 days with me. All your food is included, all your pampering is included, and then it's a woman's retreat. So it's workouts, yoga, meditation, really manifesting our goals, and finding our I ams, which will be so great, and really just unplugging. It's very much about getting back to who you are and finding your authentic self and finding those things that you love, and really pampering yourself and getting well. So there's lots of different options. Every single program is different, so it's very individual. Even though it's a group of people, it's very individual. And the consultation is free, so you can sign up on my website, and then we take it from there. We decide what it is that you'd like to achieve, and spend 5 days with me. And it's a magical experience for sure.
Wow, sounds absolutely amazing. We've always spent about 30 minutes with you right now, and we've learned so much, so I can only imagine what you can learn at this retreat. Absolutely amazing. Thank you again for really breaking it down to really simple, doable tips that mom can incorporate into their day to really enjoy life more and have less stress for themselves and their families. So thank you so much again. And for moms listening, I know there's a lot of information that we went over in this episode, so we will have a replay available within a few hours after you hear this. So feel free to re-listen again, take notes, and go ahead and contact Angela so that you can learn more. So thank you, Angela, so much for being here. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you, Mom, for taking time out of your busy day to listen. We so appreciate it, and I hope that you got a lot out of this. Thank you so much, and we will see you back tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you received a lot of value out of this interview. I know that I did. I want you to open up to the possibility of making this new year the greatest opportunity that you have had so far to improve your life. This is about breaking out of paradigms. It's about learning the art of living. It is about honoring who you are as a woman as you discover who you are as a mother. It is about taking care of your body, mind, and spirit so that you can take better care of your family and be a shining example, a role model for your children so that they can grow up to be healthy, happy, and successful. I promise to continue to bring you educational, empowering, and inspiring content to help you achieve the body that you dream about and the life that you are meant to live. Stay tuned for more value-packed interviews, and be sure to check out all the resources on my website, metabolicmama.com. Until next time, wishing you a happy, healthy, hot day. Take care, mamas.